everyone, my name is Aquila, and this is my YouTube channel, A Lefty Knitter Podcast, and this is episode 166. I come to you today from Baltimore, Maryland, and it's a really nice day out today. Not gonna complain. So, it is actually already Thursday, June 9th. I usually record through the week, show you guys what I'm up to, throw it all together, and then post on Saturdays. It's just not been happening at the beginning of the week. Just, oops. But yeah, I'm here to show you all the things crafty that I've been into, and I just first want to thank anybody who's returning and watching, and then anybody new that's been subscribing and watching and commenting. I appreciate all of you, and I am so happy to be able to share everything that I love doing that's crafty related. So I guess let me first start with Tammy. Thank you. I had talked about the rainbow loom in the last episode, so if you're new and you want to go back and watch, I enjoy all crafts. And when I realized that you could crochet with the rainbow loom little rubber bands, I was very excited about that. But then also I was having trouble trying to like show Hazel or watch tutorials with Hazel because we only had one loom. And then Tammy bought another one. So now Hazel and I can both craft together, and that's really, really exciting. And thank you, thank you, thank you. This community is just amazing. I was just hoping to find one in like a thrift store, or if, you know, like there's a mom out there whose kids are grown that don't do this anymore and they haven't gotten rid of it yet. Maybe. Like that was what I didn't expect a whole new one, and that was just like the sweetest. I can't. Oops, I don't want to tilt it too far, but this, like, look at those colors. Oh my God. So of course, Hazel had said something, because she looks through the videos with me. Hazel's my daughter, by the way. And she was like, Mommy, I want those. They're so cute. Peas in a pod. And I was like, okay. So of course, I don't work on my stuff at night after she goes to bed. And I started working on, these didn't turn out the greatest. I didn't stuff them, and I don't have mouths on them, and only one has eyes and cheeks, but it's 3 little peas in a pod. And so it's crocheted. These are all crocheted. It's pretty awesome. Like, I did not even realize that you could do that. Now, the lady that did this tutorial, she kept, I don't know. I think maybe it was an early video. It was just a little more difficult, but I still made it. Yeah, so much fun with these. All right, let's go back to the normal yarny related stuff. And then I have one more craft that I actually have been working on. Well, I worked on last night, and I am really excited about this. So let's start with yarn stuff first. I did a live on Sunday morning, and I cranked the second of these socks. These are, so I have an Erlbacher Gearhart crank circular knitting machine, and I constantly have leftover yarn on cones, and what happens is it either ends up getting taken off the cone or goes in a scrappy sock, or ends up being like a couple stripes in a sock, or sometimes I make my ball beanies, which I have a few of those. I think Kristen and Maddie had talked about them on their podcast, and people had messaged me and was like, when are you having more? I've been working on some. But I cranked these. So these are just mismatchy Frankenstein monster type socks. And yeah, so I cranked one live on IG, and the other one I had cranked prior to. So I had just split what I had left on my cones and just cranked away. Now I know from here to here is one skein, but it was like leftover knit picks, and I could have put it in my blanket, but I just was like, let's use it. That way I know I'm not running out of yarn when I get to like the toe or heel or whatever else. So These are so fun. I love these. You know, once it's wintertime, you don't really see your socks because you're wearing pants. So it doesn't matter if they're like crazy or not crazy. The other thing that I've been knitting on, which you guys have seen this already, and I am so close to finishing the toe of the other one. Not so close, but I was hoping to have both completely done, not completely done, but ready for heels. So this is that KFI Collection yarn that I purchased down in the Outer Banks. KFI Collection painted socks. It is not new. I did find it on Ravelry. I think it came out in 2019, and they do have quite a few colorways. I just never had seen it before. Again, I don't go in a lot of yarn shops, or at least lately I hadn't, and you know, so when they had these and I saw them, I thought they were really cool. This one is done except for the heel that I need to cut in. And this one, because these are cuffed down, 64 stitches on a 9-inch circular until I get to the toe, and then I switch to magic loop. I was here. So I knit all this from last week, and I'm decreasing. Like, here's where I started decreasing for the toe. So I'll have a toe done, and then I just need to cut in my heels, and I'm really, really excited. I'm gonna use the all purple that's on the inside and do heels, because I have a ball. The way these are packaged, you get 2 separate balls that are matching. These don't match up exactly, and I don't know if it's just, they're just off a little, so I don't know if there was more blue at the top of this one than this one, but I'm not worried about that. Not at all. I think these are really fun. I talked in the last episode that the yarn is a little splitty. It is a 4-ply, and it's not really tightly spun. Yay. The ball beanies I have ready to go. This one will be normal price because I didn't mess up. So these go over your caked balls of yarn and squish them in as you're knitting with them so they don't like fall apart. This one I messed up a little on the top edge right here. Probably hard to tell. It's a little bit messed up, so this one will be like discounted $1 or whatever. These are, I think I list them as 8. I haven't done that in a long time. And then these, I did not realize I didn't have enough yarn because I like them to be taller. See the length of these? And see the length of these? They're not as long. And so these will be discounted maybe even a little more than $1. I don't know. But these still work fine. You just, the top of the cake might hang out just a little bit out of it. But they're still usable and will work for the purpose of what they're made for. They're just shorter. So yeah, but I am trying to get some stuff in the shop. I made some of those stitch markers from used jewelry, and I have some of those. I gotta figure out how to price them and package them because I'm not sure. I have not worked on my Clockwork shawl, which I haven't shown in like 2 episodes. That's still sitting, and I was gonna work on it. So get this, I was going to work on it, but I couldn't find the bag and I didn't know where it was. And eventually, I have found it at this point. It was downstairs in my craft room / office. But since this bag was readily available and right at my fingertips, I decided to bust out a few more of these. If you've watched my podcast before, I make scrubbies out of this is the one I like. I've never tried any others, so I can't vouch for any of the others, but I love this one. This is the Scrubby by Red Heart. Comes in solid colors, which I know I've talked about this before. You get more yardage and more grams, and the variegated you don't get as much. And this last one I've been working on is Scrubby, and it's called Lime. The solid colors you get, hold on, 3.5 ounces and 100 grams, and you get 92 yards. And these you only get 3 ounces, 85 grams, and 78 yards. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, which I still have to weave in the ends. And I can probably get 1 more out of this. So I'll have 8 scrubbies out of 1 ball of yarn. And I'm very excited about that. I use my tulip hook. This just is dedicated bag for these at this point. And it's an I-9 or a 5.5 millimeter. So I think I did like in an hour, I did like 4 of them. They're so quick and they're great for Christmas presents. So that's what these are gonna be. And I have all the scrubby yarn I keep right in this bag. So I don't buy more until I've gifted some or used it and have finished. So I have 2 more balls to use. I don't need to have a bunch on hand. It's available, so I just don't do that. The new thing I've worked on, and it's not knitting, and it's not crochet, and it's something I've never done before as this technique. And I bought it at Maryland Sheep and Wool this year because I have so much yarn, and I always see these booths with wool applique, but you're doing embroidery, which I've done embroidery, so it's not completely new to me. So let me show you. I went to the Epicurean Boutique, and they have an Etsy shop. So you can buy this same kit on Etsy, and it's like $22 or $23. So I bought the whole kit. The only thing it does not come with is floss, which I had floss, but I did actually go to the store and buy the specific colors. This is Penny Lane Primitives, and it's the Spooky Halloween Candle Mat. How cute is that? Very cute, right? So I started this last night. I've never done embroidery. I'm lying. I have done where I've sewn pieces of fabric and or felt or wool on top of other pieces, because I believe I did that to make like eyes on a stuffed animal I made. So it's not completely new to me, but doing this whole process is new to me. Getting the pattern, cutting out the shapes. This cat is next, and that's going to be fiddly. I'm not looking forward to that. But I did start it, and I'm very, very excited. I have a T-pin and my needle in here, so excuse that. But I have sewn on all of my moons. It looks so good. I'm so, like, when I was cutting these out, I'm like, they're not perfect. And I was like, you know what? You're not going to tell that they're not perfect. But this is so cute. Most of the stuff that I see that's like wool applique is very, I don't know if I want to say the word country looking, like folk. It's like, that's the word I'm kind of thinking. It's like folk art looking. That's kind of what it reminds me of. I'm sure there's patterns and kits that are not so folk art, but I like that look, and I especially like that look with Halloween stuff. I think it's really fun. That's why I went with Halloween kit. The other thing I want to get, and I'll try to download a picture and insert it here. She had kits for these, and they're like little lockets. And I was like, and they zip, and they're so cool. And I was a little intimidated because of like, I've never done this before. So once I'm done this, I think I'm probably going to buy one of those because they were really, really cute. There was a honeybee one. I think that's what the picture I'll try to download. And then like she had the kits for like holding needle books. And they were really cute too. So I don't know. It could be a new obsession. It might not be a new obsession. I like the idea of the kits a lot instead of making stuff up out of my head because I'm not that person to do that. So I'm doing okay. All right. That's what I have. And because today is Thursday, I'm a little worried I won't have a whole lot more to show you. I might have just these finished or something. I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to have to show you. The only other thing that I talk, this is in no order, so I don't always talk about life at the end. John started his ceramics class again. He got another class at the community college. He's very excited. So he started that. And then we've been watching The Boys. Now, this is not a show you watch with kids. I'm not even sure at what age you would really want to start letting them watch this, like 25. We read the comics, the graphic novels, and they're grotesque. They are grotesque. And the show is following suit. So if you have little ones, do not watch The Boys with them. But we're watching it because we had read all the books, the comics, whatever you want to call them, graphic novels. So yeah. And then I was telling my friend about Heartstopper, and her daughter was actually watching it already, so I was really excited about that. And then she talked about wanting the graphic novels for that, and they're apparently like out of stock right now, like everywhere. So I'm gonna be trying to go on like Facebook Marketplace and seeing if anybody has used ones to procure, because I would like to get them for her if possible. You know, promoting reading. I mean, she's 18. It's not like I'm, you know, trying to force a little kid to read or whatever. Oh, we have been reading, Hazel and I jump around all the time. I had talked to Hazel about Narnia because it's on our little free library, a painting, like Narnia, this many miles or whatever. And she's like, what's Narnia? And she was very interested when I told her. Well, I never realized that the first book is not actually The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. The first book is like something magician. And I had found it at a thrift store not long ago, and it's been on her shelf to start. We started that last night, and her and I are both like gnawing at the bit to get to the next chapter so we know what happens. And I already know like the second book, because I've read it and I've seen the movie, but she is very excited now to like get through this book, get the next book so she can watch the movie because she's so intrigued by what's happening. So if you've read those, you know, you understand it's like, the books are a little hard to read, I think because they were written, I don't know when they were written, a while ago. So the dialogue or the I can't think of the right word of what I mean to say. They use a lot of words that aren't used today because like language has changed, or even I'm not sure if Lewis S. Carroll.
Wrong. Not Lewis S. Carroll. C.S. Lewis. But yes, he was British.
Was like European or British or whatever, and used different wordings for things. I'm not sure about that. So, not to say it's dated. That's not really right to say. A lot of the words though I have to like explain to Hayes because she doesn't fully understand. Hey, there's a cat. She doesn't fully understand what certain words mean. So, but it's been fun reading it. We also had to go through this when we read the first two books in the Wizard of Oz. The Wizard of Oz series. So there was a lot of words that we had to like explain or omit because I felt like they didn't fit well. So yeah, it kind of falls into that. So if you know what I'm talking about. I'm terrible at explaining like things, and I'd have to stop or insert whatever to. All right, so yeah, I've now talked a lot, and I don't know what much I'll have to show you. So stick with me, guys, and let's see what I get into. Probably more the wool felt applique thing, because I am like totally feeling that. I love it so much. Okay, everybody, it is already Saturday, June 11th, and we're gonna round up this video. Today is Worldwide Knit in Public Day, which there's all kinds of events. I hope you're getting out, going and just having coffee or tea and knitting and hanging out with fellow crafters and enjoying the day. And if not, and it's just you, go out, treat yourself, have something to eat, to drink, and knit some rounds. I can't do that today. There's a huge event happening down in DC at the National Harbor, which it would have been amazing to go to, but alas, we have a birthday party to go to. Wah, wah. I've never met these people. I've met the mom of the daughter before, just dropping off at school and whatnot, but I've never, like, I've never knit in front of them. I've knit in front of one of the other moms that's gonna be there, but I don't know, is that weird to just be like, oh, the kids are having a pool party and I'm just sitting here with the adults and I'm gonna bust out my knitting? But I don't know you, so don't think this is rude, because it's not. I concentrate very well when I knit. I don't know. Either way, we have that. Then I think Hazel and I are going to treat ourselves. We're going to go pick up some food. We're going to go to a brewery, take some board games, and hang out, knit, play some games, and I'm going to have a beer. Yeah. It's a cool little brewery near us, and they have inside-outside seating. I put a ping out to my knitting girls, and I was like, hey, if anybody wants to come. If they don't, it's okay. Hazel and I, we're gonna go, and it'll be fine. So that's for myself. And for Hayes, because she likes going places and like taking games, like places you can do that. So it'll be fun for her too. That was a lot. I finished those socks. So this is the KFI Collection painted sock. Now, granted, I'd finished these this morning. I was very tired last night. We had a play date last night, and I didn't get much of anything done. So this is the colorway 105 Yellowstone, and this is what I have left of each ball. I did end up winding, I ended up reballing each ball, so I had the solid purple on the outside because I didn't want to knit with the variegated one. And so my heels are the solid color. But I was here last time you saw these. I finished the toe and I cut in my heels. That's good. Those are good. They look so good. I'm so happy. I realized that cutting in heels, these are harder to get on my feet than just the heels on my sock machine, but I can't always just make socks on my sock machine either. I like hand knitting still. Like, I have yarn ready to take with me to, I might cast on a few rows before I go. That way it's not me just casting on in front of people too. I don't know. But these are done. I enjoyed working with it. I am still going to crank one of the other sets and then decide what I want to do with the third one. I'll probably crank it because I like the tall socks, even though I knit these pretty fast. Yeah. I'm wondering if I should but I never know where I'm going to put my heel. That's the problem. Like, increase to 72 where my heel's going to go and then decrease again. But that's just like too much thinking. Maybe I just need to, I don't want to go up a needle size. Maybe, I don't know what to do, but they're always a little harder to get over in the heel. I guess I could do my cut-in heel a little deeper, because you don't have to do half the stitches for your cut-in heel. You can make it a deep heel and cut in, say, instead of, these are 64, I could cut in, instead of 32, cut in 36. I could do that. And then the heel would just be deeper. The one thing I always do is I do 3 rows before I start decreasing, which makes it a little bit of a deeper heel. Yay, but these are done. But I have something else to go on these blockers. So I have been trying to use yarn that's been just left over downstairs near my sock machine. I kind of have like a bucket that I throw stuff in, and I had this yarn down there. I don't remember who I made a pair of socks for, but I'm pretty sure I hand knit this colorway when I made the first pair, and then these have been in my stash for I'm not sure how long, and I don't even remember. I think it's Seafarer is the colorway because it's a Knit Picks Felice yarn, and I did the roll top socks on my sock machine, which those are so much fun. And I want to do 3 rolls the next time. These, I've only ever done 2. I've never done a 3 roll. So I want to do longer, or 3 rolls. They're reminiscent of like Rose City Roller. Is it the Rose City Roller pattern where it has the roll tops? So I did use a cone of just a plain green I had, which is really close to, not super close, but it's close enough. Because I wasn't sure I would have enough. So I did the first roll. I'll show you. So I did the first roll, you can see it better in this one, with the actual Knit Picks yarn, and it rolls over. And then the second roll I did in the green that I had, that was a solid green, and then I put the fleechy yarn back on. I did 15 rows of like a leg, I did a deep heel, I did my foot, and then I switched and did the toe in that contrast color also. But these are so much fun, and I have ideas for like all kinds of fun colors. I mean, technically you could really go crazy and I could do a whole rainbow of rolls and then do like whatever in the sock. But yeah, these are done. These are for me. And yeah. Andi has been making a lot of these lately. Andi, the Knittress, and she's been having them in her shop. She just had a giveaway, so that's over now, but you should always be watching out because, you know, people do giveaways and whatnot, and like they're getting a custom pair of custom rolled socks. So I think that's really, really fun. So the only other thing I have to show you is the yarn I'm going to cast on today, and it's another Knit Picks. I think this was from the last release. I think it does say special reserve on it, so I never remember what the special reserve means. Is that like a one-time deal? I don't know. This is the Game Over colorway, and I thought those were just really fun colors to actually hand knit with, so that's going to be my next cast on. I'm not that person to wind off a color to get to the same color. I don't do that. So these will just be, you know, sister socks. The only other thing I have to talk about is John has been posting every day leading up to Juneteenth, and he is on this, not a self-discovery, he's on this discovery to learn and educate himself, which we've both been on. And he actually was down at the Library of Congress. He was able to go in and see some of the documents there. So if you're following John on Instagram, you might have already seen his post about that. But I want to show you the book that he brought back. And I'm very, so Juneteenth is the day that the amendment was made releasing slaves from being in slavery. Sorry, my words are not coming out. But the thing was with that is people didn't even know, because, you know, news, social media, things like that weren't always accessible to Black people, nor could, you know, not every person of color could even read to know that they were freed if they were able to get their hands on some sort of newspaper. And of course, people, the slave owners didn't even A, know, or B, I guess maybe ignored the fact that this had happened. And then there's a whole lot that came after that and whatever else, and just because they were freed did not make them completely free to do what they want and to live their lives as humans, we as humans should be able to do. So this book is not quite related to actual like Juneteenth, but it's called Slave Narratives, and this is the Maryland edition. Apparently they have books from all different states, and it was produced by the Library of Congress. It was published in cooperation with the Library of Congress, I should say. And it says it's a folk history of slavery in Maryland from interviews with former slaves. So you have to think that here it says even typewritten records prepared by the Federal Writers Project dated 1936 to 1938. So if you think about when they were freed, and I don't know the exact date because I'm terrible and I should know this, but many of these people were much older at the time of these interviews, even and in the 1930s, I doubt any of these people are actually still alive, but you can actually go onto the Library of Congress website and listen to their interviews. Somebody did mention it's much better to listen and read the transcript at the same time, because the interviews were so long ago, it's hard to, the crackling and the static on the recordings isn't so great. So I'm excited to read some of these stories that are in here. And I would even go beyond saying, after we finish this one, if John went back and got the copies from other states, it would be also interesting to read those. So, and it looks all actually type, like on a typewriter. So I know it's going to bring a lot of emotion. So a lot of them are talking about, they remember people riding in on horses and saying to their slave owner, those people would go to the owners and say, it's a terrible word to say, owners, you own humans. Ugh, okay. That they remember that point when they came and said that they were freed, and some of them didn't even really understand what that fully meant. So yeah, very emotional. So John also picked up these 2 little copies of, just to have in our arsenal, the actual Constitution and then the Emancipation Proclamation. So now we have these, so we can further educate ourselves on exactly, I mean, I know you can look it up online, but this is like a really nice pocket guide, you know, to have on hand. So yeah. And I probably would like to put this in our little free library after I'm done. John and I are both done reading this, but we might end up passing it on to friends and family first and then deciding to put it in there. So I'm sure there's friends of ours that would also be interested in reading this. So yeah, there we go. Not to end it on like a weird emotional note, but that's where we are. And so if you follow John, you have seen all his posts. Him and I have had conversations about the things he's posting and how we didn't know certain things and how hard it is to find actual information. And so it's been quite an interesting journey, more for him because he's doing so much more research and I'm just here to listen and to him on what he's learned. So yeah. All right, I'm gonna go. We have to get ready for the party. It is raining. I feel really bad. It's a pool party. I don't know what this is gonna be like. I don't know. But all right. Yeah, we gotta get going. Knit happy. Happy Worldwide Knit in Public Day. And I'll talk to you all soon. Oh, video at the end is just really silly. I made a reel for Instagram, so you may have already seen it if you follow me there. And if not, enjoy. And go on Instagram and you can use my audio and repost your own video and remix the reel and do all the fun things. I would love to see like it go viral. Like that would be awesome. I don't think it will, but it would be awesome. So if you have Birkenstocks and socks, you should just video it and put the audio over top. If you need help doing that, message me. Okay, I gotta go. Bye. Birks and socks and 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 Birks and socks.